Shamanism is a term broadly used to describe a range of spiritual practices and beliefs centered around the mediation between the human and the spiritual world by a practitioner known as a shaman. The concept of shamanism, although widely recognized today, is complex and has been the subject of extensive scholarly debate due to its diverse manifestations across different cultures and historical periods. The term shaman itself is believed to have originated from the Tungusic-Evenki language of Siberia, where it refers to a person who is regarded as having access to, and influence in, the world of benevolent and malevolent spirits. Such individuals are typically seen as healers, diviners, and intermediaries who can communicate with the spirit world through various techniques, including trance, ritual dance, drumming, and the use of psychoactive substances. Shamanic practices are among the most ancient forms of spiritual expression, with roots that may extend back to Paleolithic times. Archaeological evidence, such as cave paintings and burial sites, suggests that early human societies engaged in shamanistic rituals to interact with the spiritual world, ensure the success of hunting expeditions, and maintain harmony with nature. These practices were integral to the social and religious life of prehistoric communities, where the shaman often played a central role. The academic study of shamanism gained prominence in the 20th century, particularly through the work of anthropologists and ethnographers who sought to understand the religious and cultural practices of indigenous peoples. One of the most influential figures in the study of shamanism was Mircea Eliade, a Romanian historian of religion, whose seminal work Shamanism, Archaic Techniques of Ecstasy, 1951, remains a cornerstone in the field. Eliade's research emphasized the ecstatic nature of shamanic practices, wherein the shaman undergoes a spiritual journey, often in a state of trance, to communicate with spirits and bring back knowledge or healing for the community. However, the concept of shamanism as a universal and monolithic practice has been challenged by subsequent scholars. The diversity of shamanic traditions across different cultures and the varying roles that shamans play, ranging from healers and spiritual leaders to social outcasts and tricksters, suggest that shamanism cannot be easily categorized or reduced to a single definition. Instead, shamanism is better understood as a spectrum of practices that share certain common features, such as the shaman's ability to enter altered states of consciousness, the use of ritual objects, and the belief in the existence of a spirit world that interacts with the material realm. In addition to its religious and spiritual dimensions, shamanism is also deeply intertwined with the social and ecological contexts in which it is practiced. In many indigenous cultures, the shaman is not only a spiritual leader but also a custodian of traditional knowledge, including knowledge of medicinal plants, ecological balance, and the myths and stories that encode the community's understanding of the world. This holistic approach to spirituality and healing reflects a worldview in which the natural and supernatural are intimately connected, and where the health of the individual is seen as inseparable from the health of the community and the environment. The role of the shaman varies significantly across different cultures. For example, among the Sami people of Northern Europe, the shaman, or Noiti, is primarily a healer and protector who communicates with spirits to ensure the well-being of the community. In contrast, among the Yanomami of the Amazon, the shamans are warrior-like figures who engage in spiritual battles with malevolent spirits to protect their people. Despite these differences, a common thread in shamanic practices is the shaman's ability to mediate between the seen and unseen worlds, often through rituals that involve music, dance, and the use of sacred objects or substances. The study of shamanism also raises important questions about the relationship between religion, culture, and psychology. Shamanic practices often involve altered states of consciousness that are achieved through various means, including fasting, sleep deprivation, rhythmic drumming, and the ingestion of psychoactive plants. These experiences, which are often described as visionary or ecstatic, have been interpreted by some scholars as evidence of the universality of certain psychological processes, such as the capacity for trance or the symbolic representation of personal and collective unconscious material. However, the interpretation of shamanic experiences is highly contested. Some researchers argue that shamanic practices should be understood primarily in cultural and symbolic terms, as expressions of a particular worldview that cannot be fully explained by psychological or neurological models. Others suggest that shamanism may offer insights into the nature of consciousness and the potential for human cognition to access different modes of reality. As we delve deeper into the study of shamanism, it becomes clear that this ancient and diverse set of practices offers a rich field of inquiry into the ways in which human beings have sought to understand and interact with the world around them, both seen and unseen. Shamanism, while sharing certain core features, manifests in diverse ways across different cultures, each shaped by its unique environment, history, and social structures. From the icy tundras of Siberia to the dense rainforests of the Amazon, shamanic practices have evolved to meet the spiritual needs of diverse peoples. Siberia is often regarded as the heartland of shamanism, with some of the most well-documented and traditional shamanic practices. The indigenous peoples of Siberia, such as the Evenki, Yakut, and Buryat, have long relied on shamanic rituals to maintain harmony between the human world and the powerful spirits of the natural environment. Siberian shamans, known for their elaborate costumes adorned with animal skins, feathers, and metal ornaments, enter trances through rhythmic drumming and chanting. One of the most distinctive rituals in Siberian shamanism is the Kamlany, a ceremonial journey undertaken by the shaman to the spirit world. During this ritual, the shaman uses a drum to induce a trance state, enabling their soul to travel to different realms to communicate with spirits, seek guidance, or heal the sick. The drum, often considered the shaman's horse, is central to the ritual, as its rhythms are believed to carry the shaman's spirit across the boundaries of the physical world. Siberian shamans also commonly engage in animal transformations during their spiritual journeys, assuming the forms of their totem animals to gain their powers and insights. In Papua New Guinea, shamanic practices are deeply intertwined with the complex social and spiritual landscapes of Melanesian cultures. Shamans, often referred to as sorcerers or healers, play a crucial role in managing the delicate balance between the living and the spirits of the ancestors. The rugged terrain and isolated communities of Papua New Guinea have fostered a diverse array of shamanic traditions, each adapted to the specific needs of the people. One of the unique aspects of shamanism in Papua New Guinea is the use of ritual objects and substances to connect with the spirit world. Shamans may use sacred stones, bones, or shells, believed to be imbued with spiritual power, to conduct healing ceremonies or to ward off malevolent spirits. In some regions, shamans consume betel nut, a mild stimulant that induces a state of heightened awareness, enabling them to communicate with spirits. These rituals often involve intricate chants and dances, with the shaman invoking the spirits of ancestors or nature to intervene in human affairs. Another distinctive practice is the communal nature of many shamanic rituals, which often involve the entire village. During important ceremonies, such as those marking life transitions or agricultural cycles, the shaman leads the community in elaborate rituals that may last for several days, ensuring the continued favor of the spirits. In India, shamanism is found primarily among the indigenous tribal communities, such as the Santhals, Gonds, and Bulls, who have maintained their spiritual traditions despite the overwhelming influence of Hinduism and other major religions. Indian shamans, often called Ojas or Bhumkas, serve as healers, diviners, and custodians of tribal lore. They are believed to possess the ability to communicate with spirits and deities, often through trance states induced by drumming, chanting, and the use of sacred plants. A prominent feature of Indian shamanism is the use of puja, ritual worship, to appease deities and spirits. During these rituals, the shaman offers food, flowers, and other offerings to the spirits, seeking their blessings for the health and prosperity of the community. The shaman may also use mantras, sacred chants believed to have spiritual power, to invoke specific deities or to protect against evil forces. Indian shamans often play a key role in addressing illnesses believed to be caused by malevolent spirits or curses. They perform exorcisms and healing rituals, sometimes involving the possession of the shaman by a deity or spirit, who speaks through the shaman to offer guidance or deliver a cure. These rituals are deeply embedded in the social fabric of tribal communities, where the shaman's role extends beyond healing to include mediating conflicts and preserving cultural traditions. Africa, with its vast cultural diversity, hosts a wide array of shamanic traditions, each deeply rooted in the spiritual and ecological landscapes of the continent. Shamanic practices in Africa often revolve around ancestor worship, with shamans, known variously as sangomas, ngangas, or babalawas, acting as intermediaries between the living and the dead. Ancestors are believed to play a vital role in the health and prosperity of the community, and it is the shaman's duty to maintain these relationships through ritual offerings and communication. One of the most widespread practices in African shamanism is divination, a process through which shamans interpret signs and omens to provide guidance on matters ranging from personal health to community decisions. This is often done using bones, cowrie shells, or other sacred objects that are cast and interpreted according to their patterns. The shaman's ability to read these signs is believed to be a gift from the ancestors, passed down through generations. Healing is another central aspect of African shamanism, often involving the use of herbal medicine, ritual purification, and spiritual cleansing. African shamans are known for their extensive knowledge of medicinal plants, which they use to treat physical ailments, as well as to protect against spiritual harm. These healing practices are often accompanied by rituals that involve drumming, singing, and dance, with the entire community participating in the ceremony. In some regions, particularly in West Africa, shamans are also associated with the practice of spirit possession, where the shaman is believed to be temporarily inhabited by a deity or ancestor spirit. During these rituals, the possessed shaman may perform feats of strength, deliver messages from the spirit world, or heal the sick. In Latin America, shamanic traditions are particularly vibrant among the indigenous peoples of the Amazon rainforest and the Andean highlands. The shamans of these regions, often referred to as curanderos or ayahuasqueros, are renowned for their deep connection to the natural world and their use of powerful plant medicines. In the Amazon, shamanic practices are closely tied to the use of ayahuasca, a potent psychoactive brew made from the Banisteriopsis caapi vine and other plants. Ayahuasca ceremonies, led by the shaman, are conducted to heal physical and spiritual ailments, facilitate communication with the spirit world, and gain insights into the nature of reality. These ceremonies often take place at night, with the shaman guiding participants through the intense and visionary experience with chants, known as ikaros, which are believed to summon protective spirits and guide the journey. In the Andes, shamanic practices often revolve around the worship of natural elements such as mountains, rivers, and the earth itself, seen as powerful deities. The Paco or Yatarai, as the shamans are known, perform rituals to honor these natural spirits, seeking their blessings for good harvests, health, and protection. Offerings, known as despachos, are made to the earth, consisting of coca leaves, sweets, and other symbolic items, carefully arranged in a ritualistic manner. Andean shamans also engage in divination and healing practices, often using coca leaves to diagnose illnesses and prescribe remedies. The coca leaves are spread out and read by the shaman, who interprets their patterns to understand the spiritual causes of a problem and to communicate with the apis, mountain spirits, or Pachamama, Mother Earth. The shamanic traditions of Latin America are deeply connected to the environment, with a strong emphasis on maintaining balance and harmony with the natural world. These practices continue to be an integral part of indigenous life, reflecting a worldview in which human beings are seen as part of a larger, interconnected cosmos.